Today's lesson is going to show you how to create the bow on your oil pastel wreath drawing. So what I have done is I have already sketched out my bow onto my black paper. I wanted to show you how to draw a bow on white paper just so it will show up a little bit better on the screen, and then you'll use the same concept to draw it onto the top of your circle on your black paper. So here you can see where my circle is, and I've just added the bow at the top. So the first thing I did is I started at the center of the bow, and I kind of drew a circular shape with rounded corners. I don't know, maybe it's a rectangular shape would be better with rounded corners. So that is the center of my bow. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect circle. It's not a perfect square. Then I made some teardrop shapes for the loops of my bow that come from the top of that center shape. You want them to be about the same size on each side. You don't have to be perfect. This one could maybe be a little bit bigger. Then once you get your teardrop shapes the way that you like them, you're going to add the bottom part of the bow. So what I'm going to do down here, just going to add a little side part to that, and another one on this side, and then I'm going to bring those in to the center of my bow. Okay. And then for the ribbons that hang down, you'll just make a line that comes down on this side at a curve, and you want it to be about the same width as you come down. And then I like to do kind of a V shape at the end. Okay. Same thing over here. This one's going to tuck in behind the bow just a little bit. And then once again at the end, you can make that V shape. Okay? And that's the simple drawing of a bow. I have applied that onto my wreath picture. And now what I'm going to do is work on adding some color to it, similar to this one. Now this sample is actually done in chalks. We're converting that same type of picture into oil pastels. So I'm going to bring in my oil pastel pencils. I have some red tones. I have a little bit of browns. These are both kind of an orange brown and a lighter brown. And then I also brought my white for some highlight. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start with the white, and I'm going to add some highlight area to my bow over here. I'm also going to do that on the center of my bow. And I can come back and add more of that later, but that just kind of gives me an idea of where some of those lighter places are going to go. Okay, I'm going to do the same over on this side, a little bit of highlight right around that teardrop shape that we drew. I'm going to have that come down a little on my bow as well. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of highlights here, as well as some of that white over here on this side too. Okay, now what I'm going to do is come in with my red. I have a couple different variations of red, so I'm going to start with my brightest. And I'm just going to start filling in the ribbons on that bow with my bright red. And I kind of go around the outline a little bit with this other red. They're very similar, not too far off in shades. One of them's called chili red and one of them's called true red. So right now I'm just using that true red to come right around the edges. I'm just going to go over that white just a little bit as I do the edging on this side. And next we'll add some more highlight. Alright, so I'm just going to take a little bit of that white, come back in over the red so it just blends a little bit. And then once again bringing that true red color in on this side. And it's okay to color on top of the others. So like I'm coloring this red right on top of the white. Colored the white right on top of the red. That helps those colors to blend together. So here's a little bit of white again. I'm just blending them in. Now I'm going to take my brown tone. This is just a light brown. This is where I'm going to have shadow down here in the creases of my bow. So I'm just using that brown color to give a little bit of darkness there. And then I'll come back in with my true red, go around the edges where my pencil line is, and then I'm just mixing that in right over top of that light brown color, and that blends the shadow in with the red color. Now, if you feel like you don't get enough shadow and you need to go with a darker brown, definitely know that that's an option. So I can come in here with a darker brown too and just add a little bit more of that darkness shadow in there. Once again, come over the top of it with that true red to blend them in. Okay. Next step, I'm going to use my browns. This is still my lighter brown. I'm going to do the shadowing inside the teardrop part of my bow. So I'm just adding a little bit of shadow here. I'm going to do the same over here on this side with that lighter brown. I'm going to use just a little bit of dark brown on this one. This one's called Cedar. And you don't have to use the same colors, but that kind of gives you an idea if you are looking to match it. So I'm just adding a little bit of darker brown right in on top of that lighter brown. And then I'm going to come back in with my true red, just outline the shape of that teardrop. And then I'm going to mix that true red right in with those browns. Like I said, that's going to be my darker area. Bring in a little bit more of that lighter brown just to blend it. Like so. Okay. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm coming back with my true red. I'm going to kind of outline that teardrop shape. Going right over the top of the browns that I colored. Mixing those together, and then I'm going to come back with my lighter brown just to do a little bit more blending in there, mixing that red and brown together. All right, the next part down below, I'm just using my Tiger Red. This one's kind of an orangey red, a little bit lighter, and outlining, and then I'm going to bring that red into the white, just do a little bit of overlap as I get those colors to blend. Coming back in with my true red right here in the corner. This is going to be my brightest color. And then I'm going to finish up just by bringing back that white and doing any highlighting right on top of the reds that I need to do. If it turns a little bit pink, that's okay. That's what highlighting will do. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side. This time I might zoom in just a little bit with my camera. Be patient with me here. You get a little bit closer look. Okay, so I'm going to start with my true red color, or this one's chili red, I guess. Come in right in here in the center. Then I'm going to use my Tiger Red. That was the ruddy orange color. Reddish orange color, mixing that right on top of my white. And then my true red, just blending it all together. Then I'm going to come back in with some more white for highlight. So I have that highlight right through here. And then I'm just going to add a little bit along that teardrop shape just to distinguish the dimension there a little bit. Okay, I might even put just a little bit of white right up here as well. Okay. I'm going to do the center of my bow next, starting out with true red and outlining that shape. I'm going to try to keep most of my highlight over here to the left, so I'm mixing this true red in with some of my white. And then I'm going to do a little bit of shadowing and shading on the right side with more of my brown tones. So right now I've got my true red coloring in the center. Going to come back in with my light brown on this right hand side. And then back to my true red again. Just blending those together. Then once you get them the way you like, you can come back in with your highlight and just mix some color right over the top of that where I had the white before. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of highlight as I'm looking at mine. I feel like I need just a little bit right here on my ribbon. Okay. On the other side, I'm going to start with my chili red. And bring that down from the center of my bow. Mix a little bit of that chili red in with the white, and then I'm going to do my light brown for the shadow. I'm just coloring that right over the top of my chili red. Here in a minute I'll zoom out so you can get a full picture. With my true red, I'm just outlining the remainder of that bow. I'm going to color it in with my true red. And then I'm going to use my white to come in and touch up my highlighting. You can add any highlights any other places that you think they might need to be. I'm going to actually add a little bit of that dark brown. This one was called Cedar, right here under the bow for a little more shadow. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. Focus that back in. Okay. And that's how you create the bow. So the next part is to fill in the remainder of my wreath with holly berries and pine branches. So I think that I'm going to add a few more berries onto mine. We learned how to make some of those yesterday. So I'm going to add a few more. Today I'm going to put one over here. They can be in clusters of 3, or you can do single ones. I think in this spot I'm just going to do a single. So I've started out with my chili red, and then I'm going to fill it in with my true red and some white highlight. If you feel like it's too dark, you can always bring a little bit of red-orange color as well. So there's my highlight. This one's my red-orange color. I'm just going to make sure that my outline is good with that, and then dust off my extra there. Nice. Okay, so I've got another berry. I might even add another one up here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and pull out my greens, and I'm going to fill in with some additional pine branches, just like I did yesterday. Okay, so I have just been spending my time filling in some of the extra branches around the wreath. Mine is not done yet. I'm still going to go ahead and fill in some more space as I continue. I just want to make sure that all of that is full with pine branches. So I'm just kind of making some needles where I think that I need to add some more. And like I said, I'm just going to continue with that technique that we learned yesterday of doing the line strokes to make those pine needles until all of my wreath is full. When you feel comfortable with the outcome of that and you think you have all of yours filled in, then your Christmas work of art is complete and it'll be ready to submit. Okay? Thanks for watching.